All right, let's see. It looks like we got a transmission because I can see some folks are here. So that's encouraging. All right, I admit it, this is not an astrology show, but as you know, I've been doing this a long time, and I like to keep the astrology in the background as a reference. We're actually here to do little miniature tarot readings, and I do have a booking already in advance. I just need to double check everything behind the scenes here. Let me see, how do I do that? Oh my gosh, it's so freaking complicated. I'm so happy with my new computer. Thank you, everybody. So that's a good thing. It makes me feel very calm because I know this computer has enough power to handle what I do. It's a massive difference. I mean, it looks almost identical to my old one, but my old laptop was all buckled and the battery was bulging out of the side and lights were sticking out of the side. It was very sad. It was great in its day, but the heat has destroyed the old computer, and that's very sad for me. It was very high mileage as well. I did a lot of work on that old thing, but we're still alive today. This one has a lot more power, so that's beautiful. Everything works much more smoothly now, but that doesn't solve the heat. I've got extra booster cooling fans onto the computer itself, so that will help, but we'll find out. Let's go say hello. Let's see if this works. Anybody there? Yes, okay, good evening. All right, it's working. Hello, Necessary. I got your advance booking, thank you. Good evening, Gregory. And we have a Jennifer Schwab. Oh, you're probably from Schwab, banking. Yeah. So if you've got millions of dollars and you want to have a live mini tarot reading, you just go over here. I'll show you. This is TarotLumination.com. You can pull up another tab on your phone or tablet or computer or something like that, and just go to TarotLumination.com, and then you can press the donate button. It's just scroll down, and it's just like doing online shopping. Just put in a $250,000, $500,000. That'll work. I mean, if you're not shy. Lina from Argentina. Oh, Schwab, you're from ML. What's that? That's some big banking thing. Yeah. Lina. Oh, it never occurred to me that Lina would show up again, because it's been a very long time since you showed up at all, and I didn't prepare your songs for everybody to hear, but I could probably find them again online. I'm sure I did it once already, so I can. Give me a second. I'm trying to get organized here. Sorry. Yeah, I was just trying to organize the Astro Doodle for the evening. We'll come to this in a minute. Let me just say hello. Merrill Lynch, of course. Yes. Merrill Lynch. Okay, just do our thing. Okay. So, Lina, I do keep an eye on Argentina, because you've got your guy Javier Milei, and he's a very controversial figure. I think he's pretty outrageous and kind of awesome in his own way. And I'm very happy for some of the things that are going on for you in Argentina. I hope it's working for you personally, or BR. Black. I guess I scared her away. Yeah, Jennifer. All right. Oh well. Okay. So anyway, I have a magic post-it note ready at a moment's notice for when we start doing the readings. Thank you, Necessary. I don't know if anyone's seen Tina Miller, it's been, what, over a year, I'm sure, at least. Probably a lot of it is because maybe she's just moved on to a different chapter in life, or she got fed up with TarotLumination, or just decided to do other things. Who knows? Okay. So anyway, yeah. I don't know what it's like over where you are, but in about 10 days from now, we're going to be up in the 90s over here. So it's very disturbing. It's already hot enough as it is, and I really struggle with all that. But can you just imagine? I mean, most people are happy in I guess the 60s and the 70s. That's what I like. But when it gets over 80, oh, I get really, really, ugh. Oh. Okay, well, Lena, we know a little bit about your astrology, so I know you like things to be very precise and realistic. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hope Tina is okay. You know, she's had some very big challenges, very big ups and downs with her health and with her family and moving and all the dogs and everything like that. So, anyway, if anyone has any important stories that they want to share, feel free. I wouldn't be surprised if Ivona shows up in a little bit. And maybe Maria from Arkansas. We'll see. I don't really know. Gregory, did you ever have a chance yet to see the movie Eddington? It came out last year. It was all about the craziness going on in America. It was a fantastic dramatization, and it was filmed, I believe, in New Mexico, in an imaginary town in New Mexico. And I thought it was a fantastic movie. I watched it twice at the cinema. A very big treat. Anyway, I hope you get the chance to see it. I'm just checking the charts here. Oh, I don't know. I feel, you know, I spend so much time on Rumble now, and I'm kind of in that mindset where I'm always talking about the global financial system, how it's going to go through massive upheavals. I look at all the wars and the bloodshed and the politics and all that crazy stuff, which used to get my channel destroyed over here in YouTube. But I've been noticing that some of the channels that I get, where I get some of my content, are actually on YouTube, and I think they're very good, and they deal with a lot of the very sensitive topics that I handle as well. And because the topics are so serious and they're so unavoidable now, I'm toying with the idea of seeing what happens if I go back to YouTube, because when I broadcast on Rumble, I don't know how to do this yet. When I broadcast on Rumble, there's apparently a system where I can broadcast to Rumble and then it shuffles over to YouTube at the same time. So I don't know how that would work, and maybe if I found a way to curb some of my language so I didn't say any bad words, I might be able to sustain the both platforms. I mean, I would love to do that because I can't make any money here on Rumble. I'm doing the whole thing I do over on Rumble is free. Technically, it's just they run things differently. There's lots of commercials and ads on my Rumble shows, but that does not come to me. I don't know how their system works. So anyway, it's very frustrating. But on YouTube, if I can cross a certain threshold where I get a big enough audience again, like we had in the glory days in 2018 or so, 2019, then I could get back to earning a little revenue, which would give me a really very serious, big confidence booster. Because sometimes I get really depressed about doing all this stuff. I have a couple of folks who are very generous, which is great, but it's a lot of stuff. Tio, why don't you stream on both nights on Sunday night? I never thought about that. Huh, I honestly never thought about that. Sometimes I feel so dumb. I don't know about you, but I've been having an extremely glitchy time with the Mercury retrograde at the moment. It's affecting me very, very personally. And I think I'm handling it really well, but it's still Mercury retrograde and it is a challenge. So I'm constantly having to double check everything that I'm doing, links, buttons, phones, phone numbers, emails, addresses, information, data, uploading, downloading, all that kind of stuff. You're a genius, Necessary. I seriously never thought about it. Yeah. What that? Duh. It's so obvious. Anyway, let me just go to the chart briefly. Actually, you know what? Before they go to the chart, I still made notes here today because things are going absolutely crazy. And I think it needs to go on record. So this is all about the big fat war over in the Middle East. I don't think I'm going to say anything too disruptive, but it's nothing to do with the tarot readings, but I think it's important to honor what's going on there because we lost another soldier today, okay? Yeah, it's number 7 now. Anyway, I'm trying to see if I can... Okay, I'll keep it simple, okay? All of this is about Iran, America, Lebanon, Israel, all of that stuff. And I'm just going to go through some of it very, very quickly here. Over in Iran, the bombing is still absolutely berserk. The Iranians are still bombing Israel, okay? And then they apologized and said, "We're so sorry, Donald Trump. We didn't mean to bomb all our other Arab neighbors. I apologize. We're sorry. Let's do a deal. Let's call the end of this war. Please just stop bombing us." Meanwhile, 1 minute later, he's bombing Dubai, despite the apologies. Drones are being used, missiles, rockets, cluster bombs. Cluster bombs are very nasty, being dropped all over the Middle East. All over. Anywhere that's not Iran, but a neighbor of Iran. And as expected, the other Arab nations have effectively, very awkwardly, politically very, very awkwardly, had to form an alliance against the Iranian terrorists. So that's what's happening. And it's basically according to plan. The United States is responding. I'm going to do this because I have to. It's very important. This stuff is a very big deal because the war has become much bigger. United States is responding with thousands precision bombings. We got the B-1s, we got the B-2s, and we got the B-52. Okay, they're all going back and forth over Iran, over the whole of Iran, using all their precision radar and search things to find the targets, basically the missile sites and the uranium and all that kind of stuff. And it's working very well. We're also using attack helicopters in very, very close range where we know that there are, let's say, very active sites like at some of the air bases where there's still some remnants of air power for the Iranians. And so we're just wiping it all out. Lebanon, which is the country north of Israel that's been hosting Hezbollah, is being bombed by Israel because the Hezbollah, even though Lebanon president said, Hezbollah, you need to stop. We're not going to host you anymore as an evil terrorist group. They're misbehaving anyway. So it's very, 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 very dangerous. Iran itself has basically just issued earlier today that despite the apology yesterday, they've decided that we're going to continue to bomb all the Gulf states anyway. It's very chaotic, it's very messy. Despite depleting, 70-80% of their bombs and missiles and drones, they still have enough left to do a lot of damage, especially the cluster bombs. It's getting really nasty. The Ayatollah's son, Mutajaba, he has been selected as the new leader to replace the outgoing death cult leader, Ayatollah. And he was hit by a bomb. He's still alive. Of course, our president won't have anything to do with that guy, so the war will continue. The United States is getting very big, old-fashioned, aggressive, with massive bombing campaigns, taking out Iranian oil bases, oil and gas operations, logistics operations for weapons, just big, big, heavy-duty, old-fashioned style World War II carpet bombing. It's vicious. Plus a lot of very high-precision targeted bombing. Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, they're all getting attacked, bombed, missiles, and drones from Iran. It's freakish. And that's just making the rest of the Middle East despise the Ayatollah death cult even more. Israel completely destroyed all of the F-14 Iranian Air Force planes. They're all gone. Iran has hit Israel inside Tel Aviv, civilian and military sites. Iran has hit Kuwait airport. Iran also hit Dubai airport. That was yesterday. Iran hit Bahrain. Bahrain's just across the Straits of Hormuz. Took out their water plant. Helicopters are viciously taking out a lot of the smaller attack weapons. The United Arab Emirates are using their own helicopters to take out Iranian drones. It's going extremely well. I've just got a few more notes. The United States is now considering using, this came out, I like to track some military places in like United States Southcom and CENTCOM and all those places. But it looks like, when you look at the maps, there's Iran. Last year they had the big uranium bombings and everything, and the bunker busters going in, and that did crippling, devastating obliteration. But we know that there is uranium buried deep, 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 and it looks like America's going to go in with a very, very small, compact, like Delta Force Special Ops group of highly specialized, highly, highly trained soldiers to get in there and find the uranium. It's a very scary mission. In other words, that's boots on the ground, sadly. Oslo, I don't know if you heard about this, over in Norway, the U.S. Embassy was bombed. It was a terror attack in Oslo. There have been lots of little one-man sleeper cells blowing up all over America as well as the Islamic terrorists go berserk because their death cult leader has been taken out. We lost a 7th warrior. That's number 7 now. And also today we had a fantastic drug boat hit. Awesome, awesome stuff. Back over there at I don't know if it was the Caribbean or the Pacific, I can't remember. But anyway, we took out another one of their boats. The drug cartels assumed that we were so occupied with Iran that we would forget about the Mexican and South American drug cartels with China. Sorry. In fact, I don't know if you've seen this, but with the new agenda for Central and South America, and Kristi Noem being the leader on that thing, we are going full savage against all the drugs and the cartels in China to just obliterate their capability to make, ship, transport, traffic drugs. We can't do that yet in America. Sorry. But anyway, we're choking off the supply. Also, there was a big raid in Los Angeles a couple of days ago. About 18 or 20 members were taken out from the, the East 18th gang or something? Vicious, nasty, nasty gang. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. So it's on record. Maybe I can find a way to post this video on YouTube. I don't think I can because I'm not recording this as a recording. It's just, this is live stream. I'm learning so much. I feel like a little old man a lot of the times these days. But I tell you, I am working so hard behind the scenes to learn and study and understand what's happening, because the rate of evolution is accelerating and has accelerated dramatically, and it's very hard to keep up. Let me show you. A lot of that is to do with having been living for many years now with the Capricorn, Pisces, Taurus vibes. Soft, earthy, slow, mellow type energies, okay? You know, about 18 years, okay? 14 years or so. So that's all shifting, because now we're going into the Aquarius, Aries, Gemini regions. And later this year, once Uranus is actually in Gemini, things are going to get very frantic. And there will be like a lot of nervous and like a lot of nervous energy, like everything is overcharged. It's as though the whole planet, our whole species, would have been given a secret dose of energy drinks or something. However that works for you. For some people that's very destabilizing because it means they're overstimulated. For some people it gets them into gear. Sometimes if it's too cerebral with the Aquarius, Aries, Gemini energy, that's very fiery and cerebral energy. If you're not used to being able to operate at those kind of speeds, psychic speeds, mental agility, extremely rapid processing of information and decision making, it can be very, very uncomfortable for a lot of people. So we're going to see how that goes. We're going to learn as we go. Just want to point out, for the folks who are interested in money, we have a problem here. And this is going to become much more apparent on Monday morning. It'll probably show up as some sort of crazy headline with the stocks or with, you know, who knows what, artificial intelligence, the stock market, some sort of unemployment or employment number, some, who knows what, but something to do with big finance, So I just wanted to point that out. That's tomorrow. This is the house of big money. This is the house of other people's big money. Rebecca Spring 1. Is that the Rebecca that we know already? Are you still taking readings? Yes, I can handle. Let me just double check. I got to chat amongst yourselves for a minute, folks. I have to double check things back here. Okay, I've got 1, 2. I can take one more reading for sure. That would be, if you're not sure how that works, let me show you. I'm not sure. Just ask wifey. Oh, necessary. Just plug it into Copilot, TL. Simultaneously, please give me a detailed plan on how to do this effectively with the biggest impact. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Copilot is like Microsoft laptop AI or something, isn't it? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Necessary. There's so much stuff I want to do. There's so much stuff I feel I have to do. It's just, where do I get the time? Where do I get the energy, the motivation? So it's very. I'm finding it very hard just to deal with the tiniest little things right now. So I'll do the homework. Okay, I'll do the homework on how to multi-stream. Hello, hello. Just ask wifey. Wifey, this is all by donation. Let me show you. There's TarotLumination.com. You can go to your browser or open up a tab or something, and on your phone or whatever, go to TarotLumination.com, and you can scroll down to the donate button, and it's like online shopping. You just throw in a pile of money. It'll come over here, and then you get your mini reading live. So the Rebecca Spring one. Okay. Thank you, Gregory. That you made it very simple. Make it very, very simple. Thank you. All right, so I think what I'll do, since we're here, we've got a couple folks lined up. Hold on, give me a second. All right. All right, I'm going to start preparing now. Let's put this aside for the moment. We sometimes use it as background for the readings, depending if the theme of astrology comes up with my intuition. We'll see. You never know. I just love to have it there in the background for support. So we have a booking already for Necessary. And we have a, let's see, we have one from Mr. Gregory. So let's put that over here. And that'll keep us busy for quite a while, okay? Oh, there's a PayPal link too. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. You don't actually have to have a PayPal account to do the donation. So it's funny, that thing, what do they call it? Business models. I was talking to my friend Love Triber. The other night or so, and she stumbled on, I think her name is Pam Gregory. She's an astrologer. She's been going a long time. She has 500,000 subscribers. And she's very sweet, very classic British woman. And she's very good. And really she just sits in her sofa and chats. And mostly it's about the outer galactic source from the deep Sagittarius center of our solar system and things like that. I don't know if she does a lot of personal readings anymore. I have no idea. But she has an extremely successful channel. So she doesn't really need to reach out for donations. Like, for example, if my channel had not been destroyed, talking about business models, I'd probably be up in the 100, 150, 200,000 by now of subscribers if it kept growing at the same rate it started, instead of being castrated. And when you've got a channel that's at that scale, I don't have to ask for donations. I would be very happy just with my Google AdSense revenue. That would have been great for me. But that didn't happen, obviously, as you can tell. But anyway, I keep going anyway, as they say. All right, I've got to get over, and we got to start getting shuffled up, okay? I've got to, let's see here. We'll come to you in a little bit. I'm just going to start over here with the truth, the necessary truths. It's actually an S, isn't it? I keep forgetting about that. All right, let me see. Okay, let's get organized, folks. Okay, brace yourselves. You all know what to do. Imagine we are at a beautiful retreat. However you want to imagine that. I like to imagine being in the northern shores of the New Zealand Coromandel Island network with beautiful green, steep mountains, forests, beautiful, soothing, warm oceans, rippling waves, a campfire very close to the beach, luscious green grass and plants and trees and succulents everywhere. Beautiful bonfire going, perhaps a pizza oven or something like that. Everyone's got their favorite snacks, nibbles, and beverages. And everyone's gossiping about their own stories, what's ever important to them, despite what's going on with the mini readings, because it's just fun to hang out around the fire. What's that? What's that, Lina? Yeah, I watch a YouTuber that is on Twitch. What's Twitch? So he does lives there with donations. He can be more free and then posts the curated videos on his main page and the lives and all that on YouTube. Huh. Okay, this is way beyond my technology. I'd have to learn more about that. Thank you very much. I barely struggled to keep both my little things going here on Rumble and YouTube. The thing is, I just like making the content. I mean, I've taught myself to enjoy running the show, but it's really like, like some of the big, some big YouTubers and stuff, they have producers and managers and technical people who do a lot of that stuff. So all the YouTuber has to do is show up and do their thing, and some people just love it. There's another astrologer. We used to be friends years ago, and she was one of the very first astrologers on YouTube. Her name is Lada Doncheva. She's extremely good, very, very smart businesswoman. And I think she's up around 300, 350, 400,000 right now. Or at least 250,000, that's for sure. So, it can be done. But I know that those particular astrologers that I'm talking about, they stick strictly to the astrology. Like, when I do with astrology, I see the lens and it opens up. I see all the evolutionary aspects of our species, the horror stories of what people do to each other, different cultures, different activities. I look at the financial aspects. I look at the political aspects, historical aspects. And none of that is of any interest to people who want to know about their love life or why they're, whatever it is. It's usually about the relationship issues. And I got to the point where I felt that there's only so much that I can do in that department, and I kind of sadly had to walk away. Yeah. Okay, Lina. Thank you, Lina. I do need to really do something here to improve my situation. We're well shuffled. I go again to the last second, so get comfortable. It's time to invite your invisible friends to come and hang out and enjoy. Get cozy, get close. Pull up a chair, pull up an invisible friend seat. They're right there. You may not know who they are, but they know who you are. They could be somebody from a past life 1,000 years ago. They could be somebody from a future life 100 years from now. They could be a loved one that passed over in this lifetime. It could be a pet, and something like that. Who knows? All right, here we go. Necessary. Let's see. I think you mentioned something about Mercury retrograde. We're right in the thick of it right now. And that is, I'll just show you. It's at a very critical degree over here, the 15-degree mark, roughly. And so it makes it very, very powerful, especially when it's lined up with the sun like this. Like, here's the sun and here's Mercury. And so it's basically lighting up anything and everything to do with Pisces, Neptune, 12th house type vibes. That's this section here. This is the 12th house. It's ruled by Neptune and under the sign of Pisces. So just think of all the keywords for Neptune and Pisces and the 12th house. It could be anything. It could be anything to do with being in prison, suffering from drug addiction, being a treacherous, traitorous, devious person in oneself. It could be massive global fraud. It could be tragedy, loss, physical illness, pain, suffering, hospitalization. It can also relate more to things like divinity, divine consciousness, your pineal gland being very active and having very powerful psychic phenomenon, psychic mediumship, remote viewing, divine inspiration for novels, art, music, writing, and that kind of stuff. The heavenly aspects of Neptune. Very, very hard to manifest, but they're there. Anyway, here we go. You know the routine. This is my little diagnostic deck. Like the little black box when they test your car for the check engine light that's flashing. You've got to reveal it to heal it. If you don't know what the problem is, you can't fix it. Okay, here we go. So what messages do we have here tonight for necessary regarding possible, let's say, understandings of the Mercury retrograde influence and the ramifications of that stuff. Let's have a look here. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things going forward. And I know about your other card, don't worry. So let's have a look. External influences, I normally defer to the planets, as you know. We have the Three of Wands. What this indicates to me is that you're at a point where you have a very clear understanding of the future and what to expect and how it's starting to unfold as it comes through your imagination. In other words, have you heard the expression, you are what you think, having become what you thought? Thoughts are things. We create our reality through the process of either conscious or unconscious creative visualization. We can create a hell on earth or we can create a heaven on earth. You can get to the point where miracles are just an average day-to-day experience. And so on. But with the Three of Wands here, it makes me feel like there's a very deep, subtle, divine sort of confidence that you've done well for yourself. Over a long, extended period of time, you have planted seeds, perhaps very long ago, that are starting to show up in ways that you deeply, intuitively knew way, way back. It could have been, 5, 10, 20, 30 years ago. And those seeds are starting to blossom at this point, and you can confidently, comfortably look at yourself in the mirror and kind of go, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I did that. Like, I knew it. You can go to yourself like, I knew it. I knew it. I can actually see it happening. I can feel it. It's a good thing, whatever that might be for you. Let's have a look. What's the situation itself? Okay. You got the Eight of Wands here. Oh, wow. It looks like you got the, what's the expression? The pedal to the metal. In other words, putting your right foot down on the gas pedal. Maybe you are in a situation where, like with some people are born with Mercury retrograde, okay? And when Mercury retrograde comes in, everything seems to click into place for them. And where they feel uncomfortable is during the periods when Mercury is direct. Okay, I'm not saying you have that or don't have that, but this is a very powerful card of energy and excitement and going for it, almost like being liberated, like being let out of a box, letting go of the reins. Have you, this is going to sound crazy, okay? Sorry, I have to do this. I love to watch animal videos, animal rescue, sanctuary videos and things like that. And some of them are very heartbreaking. Some of them are truly joyful and inspiring. And they're so pure because they're animals. They're made of love. And sometimes, you see like when a cow that was heading for the slaughterhouse, but it was damaged or had some sort of sickness, and so it was offloaded at the last moment, and a sanctuary picks it up. And they get to the sanctuary, and the cow gets out there, and it's never been in a field its whole life. It's just always lived under a shelter in a box with machines strapped to the udder. And they don't know anything else. And then they get their first smell of grass and a field and the outdoors and other wild animals, and they go absolutely berserk. They get the zoomies, okay? That's what I'm seeing for you in a very, very subtle, deep internal way. I'm seeing and sensing like deep internal zoomies of some kind, if that makes sense. I know, it's a strange analogy, but that's what I'm sensing. So, let's have a look. What are the challenges with all of this? Okay, again, I'm sensing this modesty that goes with the whole thing. And like makes me feel like deep down, there's something very satisfying going on with you. You might have all sorts of horrific challenges and problems in certain aspects of your life, but there's one component which I think somewhere is very satisfying for you, and it's started to manifest. And maybe you, with the Knight of Cups, it makes me feel that it's like almost like being able to manifest it and bring it much more out in the open. For I don't know why, but I'm sensing this is very personal, very private, and it's not something you would openly talk about too much or share with anybody. But it's very much a deeply bedded feel good thing, very deep, very long term energy I'm finding here. And with the Knight of Cups, it makes me feel like there's this wish that maybe one day you could manifest this a little bit more openly, outwardly to the world in such a way that you get that deeply satisfying feeling of reciprocation. Be loving, be loved. Be loving, be loved. It's not the other way around. Be loved and then be loving. It doesn't work that way. It's in the laws of nature and love and physics. It's be loving and be loved. My feeling is that you already have a history of being loving. You have dedicated a lot of time and energy to people who need help from the psychic realms, for example. But where's the kickback for you? In a three-dimensional way that makes sense. In other words, sure, maybe you get paid, maybe it's very rewarding or something, but it would be very, very nice to be on the receiving end, in a certain way that makes you feel all warm and fuzzy, instead of having to be constantly, constant output. It's like, yeah, it's almost like, yeah, TL, I know what you're talking about. Be loving, be loved. Sure, yeah, but what does that look like in real life? Huh? Yeah, sure, right. And so it might be a little bit frustrating. I don't see anything very serious about this. Is not really crippling or anything like that. It's just a sort of a deeply felt, it's not resentment. It's just like, it's almost like a wish, like, wouldn't it be so cool if it was just automatic? Just an automatic piece of physics. Be loving, be loved. Yeah. Sometimes you have to do 3 lifetimes of being loving before before you get on the receiving end. And sometimes it's very difficult to discern what does that actually look like. How do you define love? Does that mean something like gooey romance? Or does it mean something really profound, like someone who truly stays with you in the worst of times, helps you through the worst of times, even though you've never really hardly done anything for them? Somehow or other, you just become the recipient of miraculous, divine healing energy. It could be anything. All right, so how do we proceed? Okay, my feeling is that with this deep-seated, powerful energy here, it's giving you a little bit of a license to indulge yourself a little bit. Like, why not just soak in the vibes? Like I was just talking a little bit earlier. Let's say you're a rescue. I'm not, no, don't take this the wrong way. Let's say you're like some sort of lost dog or abandoned dog or something, or a cat or a giraffe or a little donkey or a miniature dwarf horse or something. And it's been a very, very bumpy ride deep inside. You've still got deep soul energy and resilience, but you might have had a successful existence in some way or another, but there was something dramatically missing, lacking, and you never knew what that was until you arrived at the sanctuary. And then when you get there, you realize, oh my God, this is amazing. And so what I'm sensing with the Seven of Cups is that, like, when you've seen these animal stories where the animal is in a state of shock, they don't understand that maybe someone's going to hit me again, or maybe my dreams are going to be destroyed again and again and again. And then after a little bit of while, they realize, wait a minute, nothing bad is happening to me. Somebody's petting me. I just got groomed. I had a shower. I just had really nice food. All my broken bones, my messed up feathers, my ill diseases, they're all fixed, and I'm actually kind of happy. And you can see that. And it shows up in the animals as they start to, feel like they are loved again and that life has meaning and purpose and value. And they get to the point where it's very, very joyful, to the point where it's like dizzy with happiness. And so what I'm sensing with the Seven of Cups is that in a very deep kind of subtle way, it's okay. It's okay for you to give if you've been extremely focused on a three-dimensional world for a big chunk of your life, despite having your native psychic faculties, it's okay to just like have your own personal version of your own zoomies for a while. Allow yourself to just dream, fantasize, like, what do I want? I think, I imagine myself on a beautiful South Pacific island. And I'm there, hanging out. I meet some really cool people. I'm having a fantastic time. I have a beautiful oceanside cabin. Or it could be, oh, I always wanted to have this, or always wanted to do that. Allow yourself to do what artists do, is dream, creative visualization, and just allow it to flow rather than feeling, oh, I can't do that. That's just stupid. That could never work. It doesn't matter at this point. What the reading is telling me is just give yourself permission to dream, which is another way of allowing your natural creative visualization to have full exposure, like full throttle. Just freaking go for it. If you want to take a little mini vacation, doing something you've never done before, or just indulging in something that you've never done before, or maybe you've done it before but you never really had a chance to really indulge, and now you can. Maybe it's something to do with friends and family and relatives. Whatever it might be, something that would be very, very satisfying, very self-satisfying, maybe not make much sense to anyone else, but it makes sense to you. And it would resonate very well with the early part of the reading. So everything kind of synchronizes in this very kind of Neptunian dreamlike situation coming to reality. Because remember, Neptune and Saturn are very, very close right now. We just had an eclipse, the Virgo Pisces eclipse, very, very powerful eclipse. A lot of bad things were exposed and are getting revealed and obliterated in order to heal the world. So why not apply the same energy to the self? Also, with Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and Venus right there too, have a love affair with yourself. Allow yourself to manifest your dreams. Saturn conjunct Neptune can translate into the manifestation of dreams, if that makes sense. Saturn being the great manifestor, Neptune being the source of dreams. Manifest your dreams. Taste your dreams. Oh, that's a TarotLumination song. Just something. All right, okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope that made sense for you. Just said something. Your friend asked you to take a week-long trip. Wow, that would be crazy, maybe crazy perfect. All right. Thank you, Nessa. Oh, no, let me finish. Hold on. I forgot. Let's have a quick look over here. Going forward. So when I see the Four of Cups here, This looks to me like a little reminder. Knock, 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 knock. All these cups, 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 cups. Reminder, dear necessary truth, on this sort of Neptunian beautiful situation here where you can have a chance to indulge yourself a little bit, give yourself a chance to have your own personal version of the zoomies, like the animals do when they taste nature. And while you're going on that, remember at all times, like the attitude of gratitude, also understanding that energy flows where attention goes. That is pure physics. So on this, with however this manifests, just be aware that if like with the retrograde aspect, if you discover that you're constantly, no matter how good things might be for you, you're constantly drawn to whatever's not working. Let's say you invested so much time, love, compassion, and energy into blah, 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 this, that, and that, and that. But where's the love for me? Okay? It's like you miss it out over here. However, life goes on, and you're still swimming in a vast, infinite pool of the healing power of love. But the question is, where is your attention focused? So if you remember, oh, I know what TL's talking about. Energy flows where attention goes. So all I have to do is change my focus, my attention, by deliberate choice to choose love, choose the loving aspect. It might be tempting to indulge in misery and so on, but choose love and then keep the focus there. And then you don't have to be consumed by whatever's not working. And that might be kind of a learning experience that you might, in other words, with this little, I don't know, with this situation here, however it plays out, if it takes you into new lands, new territories, new dreamscapes, where you've never really had a chance to let go and indulge before, and you discover like, oh my God, now I know, I really know what TL's talking about here. It's so easy to get swallowed up in self-pity, misery, and resentment and bitterness about whatever didn't work out in life. And then you realize, I can just change my perspective, my attitude, my view, and remember, I'm still swimming in it, in the moment, here, in the here and the now. This is what counts. This is like a little tiny miniature Ace of Cups that is always there for you if you choose. So it's up to you. All right. So there you go. All right, I got to shuffle this up and we're going to move on. We got another reading for Mr. Ross, I believe. Let me just check over here. I got something. Okay, it's Mr. Ross. Okay, that's good. We can do this, folks. Hey, Robin. You know what? Okay, since we're all here, Edwards, Edwards, Bar Harbor, Maine, or Lilydale. All right, okay. Let's LINA. I don't know if LINA. Let me just give me a second. Let me see if I can find that song again. Taste Your Dreams. Let me see if I can search it. Hold on. How do I do this? Where am I? Give me a second, folks. I got to try something here. MP3. Here we go. I think. And now I don't know who this. If this is LINA or me. Anyway, I've found a file here. I think this one might be mine. Where's Lina's? I know Lina had she did a beautiful. Where is it? Is it playing?
simple miracle.
Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo.
If you wish, you can have one right away.
Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo.
All you need is some faith, is the will. Ask for it, and it will come to you today. Hey, hey, I want you to be oh so happy. I want you to be your higher self. Yeah, I want you to live and die laughing. Taste your dreams today. Taste your dreams this way. Yeah. Na da 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 da, na da 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 da. Na da 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 da, da 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 da. And if you wish to be in a state of grace, ask for it, and it will meet you face to face.
Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo.
And if you wish, if you dare to dream, you will find that it's easier than it seems. Hey, hey, I want you to be oh so happy. I want you to be your higher self. Yeah, I want you to live and die laughing. Taste your dreams today. Taste your dreams this way. Yeah. Oh. Da 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 la da 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 la da 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 da. Oh. La da 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 da. I want you to be oh so happy. Yeah, I want you to be your higher self. Yeah, yeah. I want you to live and die laughing. Taste your dreams today. Taste your dreams this way. Taste your dreams this way. Taste your dreams today.
Well. I'm trying to figure out how the heck I got that file from LINA. I don't know what I did. I don't remember how I got it last time. Now I'm really puzzled. Ivona! Well, there's been a time change. Hello, Ivona. Good evening. Hope you're well over there. I understand it's pretty cold, still pretty cold back on the East Coast. It's abnormally hot over here. Very unpleasant kind of poison air. And I was thinking like that. How the hell did I find the LINA song? Ugh, damn it. A little bit of a story, a backstory here with the retrogrades. I had a fantastic WhatsApp phone call with one of my old friends in England when we were kids many decades ago, doing pop music and rock music and things. And I told him some of the history about my catastrophic failures in the music business. And I realized it was actually really hard to explain without understanding the phenomenon of Chiron. Okay? It's a very... You can see that? Where? Hold on. Anyway, let me just show you what I'm talking about over here. So there's a reason I mean, there's so many other things to astrology. It's not really a planet. They say it's an asteroid. It has a very, very elliptical orbit. It goes way, way, way out. So anyway, Chiron, they associate it with the wounded healer. Everybody has this somewhere in their chart. People born today, right now, will have Chiron in Aries in the high 20 degrees. You might have Chiron over here, or here, or here, or here, or wherever it might be. But that indicates typically a very fragile, painful part of the soul. It's the one thing where there never seems to be any healing, or it doesn't matter whatever you do, it never works out. It could be in the love life, or relationships, finance, adventure, career, community and friendship. It could be in the home and the family. It could be in business. It could be in health. Who knows? It could be anywhere. But it's typically a very uncomfortable part. And I have mine in a certain way that makes it very tragic in terms of things like business and success and money. So, and I can relate to that very easily because I've had plenty of chances to be to do very well, but they had very, very ugly, tragic circumstances which ended up putting me where I am now, which is very different. Anyway, so with the Chiron energy, how did I even get onto Chiron? Why did I even want to talk about Chiron? Oh, yeah, I was talking with I was having a chat with my old friend Philip in England, and we stumbled upon the past. And of course, because this is going back a long way, but he's still very musically active. And I'm not quite so active anymore. I'm still an artist, writer, and a musician up here and in here, but actually in a three-dimensional world, not much. I just want to show you something that's absolutely crazy and fun that just happened. This is something you might not... Anyway, this just happened. A very small, highly specialized record label somewhere in New York found one of my old albums when I was very young. And this is the cover of that album. That's me as a very young lad trying to be a pop star, rock star, or whatever. Anyway, so I made an album. It was an independent album, and this is what the front cover looked like. And it was like old-fashioned albums. It had, like 4 or 5 songs on each side. And somehow or other, these folks found it, and they picked one of the songs, and they put it on their compilation album. And this is what their compilation album looks like. And it's very weird, freakish artwork. I don't have a vinyl player, but this is for specialists there. They have a market of people who really value old vinyl, especially high quality content and material, artistry and musicianship that never really had a big chance. And so I'm on here, and I'm very honored to be here. And I just got a notice. I mean, this is decades, material that's decades old. And they actually sent me a little digital file. Yes, Lina, I would love to talk about this with you later, if that's okay. We'll do a one-on-one, okay? So I have an old song that's been re-released on this album through this record company. It's the first time I've ever had a record company that was straightforward and just straightforward, nice people. I don't know if I'll ever have any money out of it. It kind of doesn't matter at this point. So far over it and so old compared to those days that it kind of doesn't matter anymore. But anyway, they made an announcement that they've decided that they're going to re-release the whole album, the whole original album from which that song was extracted. So now I have to talk about a frickin' Mercury retrograde. And it's a very, very personal one as well. And so it's kind of astrologically extremely rare, very freakish, hyper-extended Mercury retrograde that's affecting me very personally. And they want me to help, and they've asked if I could listen to the digital files that they've created and transcribe all the lyrics into a digital file. I don't know, like LibreOffice or Doc or PDF or something like that, or whatever it is, Word or something, so that they can have all the lyrics on hand and then maybe, print that out and put it in with the album. And so I thought, this is just blowing my mind. It's almost like, who even knew that I ever did this stuff? I knew I did it many years ago, and it created a lot of very quick attention very quickly, but I was not able to sustain the momentum of the project because two of the musicians went off to go to school, college, and things like that. So as soon as the project came to life, it died. But it's being reborn. And when I listened to the new files, what they did, I don't know what they did, but they did some kind of digital mastery. They let me know that they have connections with one of the world's top mastering engineers. The mastering engineers are the people who take the finished material from out of the recording studio, whether you're the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, who knows, rapper this or rock that or country that. And they make it sound basically perfect for the radio and things like that. So you can hear everything, which I never had before. So you could hear every nuance of the music and the voice in a way that I'd never heard before. And it was just, I was kind of blown away. So I'm very happy, kind of blushing type proud of that. So we'll see where that goes. I don't know if anyone will actually hear it or buy it, but they're doing it. They're going to make the record and re-release it. I don't hardly ever listen to music. I'm very musical, but I hardly ever listen. And I have another friend in England, and his job, he made it his business. He specializes in old vinyl. I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to share that because I just realized it's a very, very powerful example of Mercury retrograde where things come back from long ago. Thank you, LINA. Yeah. All right. So let's do a reading. We have a reading for Mr. Ross. Now I just got to do a double check on something to make sure I'm ready and able to do this properly. I have to do a little bit of homework behind the scenes here. Give me a second. Just make sure everything is digitally operating okay. All right. I think what we're going to do here is pretty much do a blind reading, which is always fun. I love doing those. It gives me a lot of room. Open blind reading. Okay, here we go. Wonderful. Thank you. All right. Cards are well shuffled in advance, but again, you guys know the routine. Invite your invisible friends. Get them close, comfortable. It really helps to amplify the quality of the reading, even though it might not seem logical to you. You could just look up to the skies, look around you at your virtual retreat in your brain, in your mind, in your imagination, and just quietly ask, hey, dear invisible friends, can you get in close here? They're doing my reading now. I really appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Guys, so you guys are talking about Rhode Island and Maine. I'm a New Englander by birth. Wait a minute, what's all this chat I'm missing? Hold on. What is it? What are you guys talking about? Oh, you're talking about up in Maine? I have a picture at the Mount Desert dump before a sign that says, "No off-island trash allowed." Whoa. Okay, Robin says, I steal that van. You can see the video Lena made. I know I must have it somewhere. Hello, Ivona. I said hi already. And Robin's here too. Lilydale. Oh, wait a minute. You're going to Lilydale? Lilydale is that Mystics psychic group, isn't it? Somewhere in New York? And Gregory's got some other friends who moved from Duck Trap, Maine. Oh, they moved to Duck Trap, Maine from Jamestown, Rhode Island. Yeah, I lived in Rhode Island for a little while. Almost died there. Oh, wow, that's on the way. Honestly, I don't know at the moment about my own music. I have so little clue about that. Anyway, it's time for your reading, Mr. Ross. Let's see. Okay. Dear invisible friends, my own invisible friends, please help me to get as much clarity as possible for Mr. Ross tonight so that he has a satisfactory reading, brings clarity into his life that would not have occurred before the reading. So it opens up, the lens of perspective. Cards are well shuffled, but I just love going until I feel completely like neutral, balanced, nothing quirky, no jumpers, no flyers, no reversals. Keep it as simple as possible. It's hard enough to do already as it is. All right, here we go. Let's have a look. All right. Here's the situation. Here's some challenges, of course. We all have them, and how are we going to handle things going forward? And then over here, let's have a look at external influences. Often, of course, I default to the planets because that's just my little astrodoodles. That's just a representation of the geomagnetic influence of our solar system on your geomagnetic version of your body. Remember, your body is basically electricity. Yeah, sure, it's atoms, water, liver, guts, lungs, brain, but all of that is biochemistry, which ultimately breaks down into nuclei and, electrons and all that, and protons, which is all, affected by electromagnetic energy. That's why I take astrology so seriously. Okay, let's have a look. We have strength. Okay. What I'm sensing here, Gregory, is that this is something very long-term and very deep that is very uncomfortable for you, and you don't like dealing with this subject matter. But a lot of it is to do with managing your own energy. I used to talk about that a lot long ago. Energy management. In other words, just um, here, let's look at it this way. Like when you're a newborn babe, you have absolutely zero skills, abilities in terms of energy management because you don't even know what you are at that point. You're crying, screaming, yelling, sleeping, pooping, eating, peeing yourself, pooping everywhere, happy, sad. No, what do you do? It's just a baby. But eventually the baby gets used to itself. Oh, that's my hand. Oh, those are my toes. Those are my feet. Oh, look at me. I have two arms. Oh, look at that. And so on and so on. And you start to get to learn how it all works. And eventually, oh, I can move. Oh, I can crawl. Oh, look at me. I'm standing up. And so on and so on. And it's all about energy management. And when we are adults, we take that to the millionth degree. And like, it's almost kind of a curse, but if you've been born and blessed with a very big, generous heart, soul energy, it can almost be a curse because a lot of people wish they could just have the three-dimensional stuff. Just give me power and money and control, and who cares about the conscience or how you get that stuff? That's how you get the psychopaths, the vampires, the pedophiles, the cannibals, the parasites of this world who operate at the very top of the pinnacles of power, money, and control. And they might look like they're very smart and happy and wealthy and powerful, but they're hollow. And there you are, Mr. Ross, with a very big heart center. And it's just like, I want to do this. I want to do that. I could have done this. I could have done that. People, you don't know. You don't understand that I can do this. I have not only, it's like I have desires. I have desires that need to be fulfilled. And yet here I am. I'm always taking care of other people's needs, people who can't speak for themselves. And so, that comes naturally to me, and I'm always having to take that deep inner soul energy and turn it into something pure and divine and bring my gift to the world. And then after, every now and again, it's like, ugh, ugh, seriously? I wish I didn't have a conscience. I wish I didn't have a heart. I wish I didn't have a soul. And then I could just screw people over and just have fun. Oh, look how I screwed her over. Look how I screwed him over. Ha ha ha, they're so stupid, sucker. And yet here you are in a lifetime where you've got this massive heart center which has purpose and meaning. And it's just like, ugh. So that's what I'm sensing with the card here for you, the Strength card, is that I didn't want to say it's bad. I just wanted to make it feel like you're perfect. I think you're perfectly aware of what I'm talking about, and that you know damn well that you could totally, just if you actually had a button and you could turn off the powerful center, and you wouldn't have to worry about any of that soul aspect of yourself. You could just be a raging, psychopathic, power-hungry, money-hungry control freak. And then you get it. And you actually end up being that way. A lot of power and money and control. But at what cost? And so you default back to the soul. Oh well. All right, let's have a look. What's the challenge here? So that's kind of the background. And actually, I think anybody who has that kind of condition, someone who's born with a very big heart, soul, center, they often have lives that may not be very fulfilling in a three-dimensional way because there are other things that are even more important. So anyway, the situation. Okay, the King of Wands energy here. Okay, what I'm sensing here is it's about stabilization. King of Wands, in other words, let's just say this Strength card represents a permanent, perpetual war that you have with yourself, where you're always having to comply with the healing power of love. You always have to, because you're aware. In other words, I'm taking it to the extremes, but this is how my best I can explain it. Evil, the natural state of the universe is beauty, love. It's benevolent, okay? Even when really horrific, scary things are happening that are part of nature, it's still beauty. In other words, when our solar system eventually goes supernova and we don't exist anymore, it's still a beautiful thing. We had our chance, we had our time. But eventually our planet Earth won't be here anymore. But we keep going anyway. Love anyway. We'd be loving anyway. But while we're here, I think everybody suffers with this to some degree. Like, I wish I could just be, you know, the person that I was just talking about, version of myself, yourself, that does not comply with love. In other words, you just abandon it. And so the expression is that once you abandon love, it's effectively like there's a vacuum and it has to be filled. And that would be evil. It's the absence of love. And love can only exist or prevail, evil can only exist or prevail when we, in our consciousness, deliberately allow that or invite that to happen. Because like little animals and things, we are born pure. Some maybe not so much as others. I've known a few people who were not born pure, and it's very frightening. Very, very frightening. But most little souls are born pure, and they have a heart center. It's very simple. Loving, love. I just want to love and be loved, whatever that looks like in life. But with the King of Wands here, it makes me feel like, again, I am Gregory Ross. I look in the mirror and I know damn well that if I don't consciously, deliberately take control of this energy here, and I sublimate my lust for power, money, and control, and worldly satisfaction, then I lose the real power. So it's like, damn it, the only way I can attain my true mastery of energy, life force, leadership, inspiration, command. I mean, the King of Wands is a fabulous card of having, and this isn't just, default setting. It takes lifetimes to be able to manifest the King of Wands energy in a way that represents integrity, power, respect. And people love that. They respect the King of Wands. People love the King of Wands because the King of Wands is like the benevolent leader who understands how rough things can be for people who are not in his position. And he wants what's good for other people. And so he leads by example. And you get to this very frustrating energy like, oh God. It's just like, okay, let's say I'm just Gregory Ross. I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror like, fuck you. Fuck you. I just want to go down to the shooting range and blow up a whole pile of shit. And I'm going to take photographs of all the people who screwed me over I'm going to put them up there in the shooting range, and I'm going to blow their effing heads off. That's what I want to do today. And then you realize, God, Gregory, don't be stupid. What a complete waste of time. I mean, it might feel good for a while, but there are other things that you know that have to be done. Like maybe you've got to take care of Mia or Mr. Stone Cold or something like that. Or maybe you have a meeting or that you have a friend or something or a business situation that demands your love, your attention, your deep heart, soul, caring component of yourself. The King of Wands leadership, where you can walk into a room, you can own the room, you're in charge, and you automatically, the room respects you. You command immediate respect, and other people understand the King of Wands energy, like, oh, Gregory's here, it's going to be fine, everything's going to be fine. Things like that. But it's hard. It's hard because there's this perpetual fight going on inside of you, like, I wish I could just, let it rip. Like, look at that person at the end of the street there. Look at that stupid, derelict, homeless person stopping traffic. I'm just going to run them over. And then we can drive again. Ha, ha, ha. Look at that. Oh, look, I've got a client over here. They've got $1 million in the bank account, and they're so stupid. I could take $500,000 right now, and they wouldn't even know. They're so degraded and stupid. They wouldn't find out until after they're dead, so who cares? That's the kind of stuff I'm thinking about. And then you have to fight that and put it back and then become the King of Wands that is magnificent, highly respectable, highly respected, loved because of living by example. There's no arrogance, there's no extreme pride, there's no narcissistic megalomaniac energy. It's the King of Wands. You do not want to mess with the King of Wands, because if you try to, they will expose your weakness. And they won't do that to hurt you. They will just show a mirror like, excuse me, do you understand? I'm not saying this, I'm the King of Wands and I'm superior to you. It's just that, don't mess with me, okay? Here's a mirror, have a look, understand, your life is about you. You have to be sovereign, take care of yourself. I am not the source of your problems. In fact, I'm beneficent, okay? It's that kind of energy. I hope it makes sense. So it's like getting up in the morning, looking in the mirror, and like, and then you have to put on the nice Gregory. There I am. I'm the nice Gregory today. I'm going to have a beautiful day. I see that person, I'd go, hey man, how are you doing? I see that person, they see me, hey, what's up? Yeah, I'll let you, do you want to see us? I'll catch you up. No, I can't meet it. I'll see you tomorrow. That kind of energy. Looking forward to it, bye. And then someone is like from, oh, Gregory, you know that thing that I screwed up a while back, and you go up to them, oh no, is it okay? Is there anything I can do? Do you see where I'm going with that? And everybody loves you because you're radiating King of Wands energy. It doesn't mean you have to do hard, horrible, really challenging, life-sucking things. It just means being like the magnificent version of yourself. All right. All right, so let's have a look here. What are the challenges? And this is tough. Oh, you know what I'm sensing here? With the Six of Cups, especially with this retrograde right now, my feeling is that you're kind of getting psychic glimpses into the past regarding times, places, peoples, situations, events, things that maybe like my story earlier from long ago that are coming up to the surface that need clarity and resolution right now at this moment in time, in such a way that might have been filed away and buried for a long time, including almost like past life regressions. So I don't want to stretch this too far in that direction, but if you're living a life right now, let's say there you are at your place in your town with your people, where you have some very vivid history. Okay, you're kind of a local legend of some kind, okay? The good side and the bad side. Like some people fear you, some people love you. And you have a very big heart, and you can't help yourself. And this is going to sound, again, really strange, but it's the only analogy I can come up with. Imagine you're watching The Twilight Zone, okay? And you're living your day-to-day life, and you're starting to see things in your day-to-day life which make you feel like, oh my God, I'm in a time warp. This is weird. Starting to sense like I might have been here in this town or one of the neighboring towns, 120 years ago, 180 years ago, something like that. There's some like deep-seated stuff coming to the surface. It might be some of the characters that you encounter and some of the places where you go. Maybe they didn't exist, many lifetimes ago, but, like a lot of people, you've had many lifetimes all over here and there, but sometimes we have clusters in certain areas and places with certain people, and everything recycles as we learn and grow and understand these phenomenon about be loving, be loved, or love anyway. Very, very simple to say, but very, very hard to integrate and understand and carry in the depths of our soul as our default settings, okay? And so imagine you're in the Twilight Zone and you encounter somebody and you look at them, you kind of go, hey, what's up today? And you realize, oh my God, I've known you before in another past life. You were it might not be something that comes out in perfect clarity, but you start to see characters and events coming back to you through the Mercury retrograde Pisces right now, lit up by the sun. So it's a very powerful Mercury retrograde, especially regarding dreams, the past, the supernatural, psychic mediumship, everything above and beyond your three-dimensional world, the pineal gland opening up to a much larger scale. So you see the world. It's not like you're necessarily seeing auras and stuff like that, but it's more about deep soul resonance. Like, my God, I walk down this street, 3 or 4 times a week, and I'm realizing now there used to be an old saloon over there, and that used to be a whorehouse, and that used to be an old general store, and that's where everybody tied up their horses to get the shoes done on them, and that's where there was a local doctor. But they're not there now. But you're starting to get that impression, like going through a time warp on the Twilight Zone, okay? It's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying that's what I'm sensing for the reading, okay? It might not be very pinpoint accurate, but it's definitely, I'm sensing a lot to do with past life energies coming into the present moment. And what does that look like? People, places, events, things, circumstances, visions. You might be getting visions of some kind. Okay. Okay, how do we move on from there? Because it might be, it sounds like this part of the reading is a little bit detached from this part of the reading, but it's more all about how do you conduct yourself in your day-to-day life, given what we've just described here, when you start to realize, oh my God, this is not just a three-dimensional world. I am Gregory Ross, who was here several times before in previous lifetimes, and I'm recycling myself because this might be a very favorable environment for me to learn and grow and evolve and prosper at the depth of my soul that you may not have been able to achieve in other lifetimes or situations or people. Okay? They always said that your part of the world is very magical anyway. Now let's have a look. How do we proceed with this? Okay, so we've got the Knight of Wands here. So there's a lot of confidence associated with the Knight of Wands. And it's the energy of understanding that I think deep down, you might have to dream about this reading for a little while to get the full depth of it, but deep down you know ultimately what it means and how it's going to translate into your three-dimensional world. And the way to go forward is to completely, absolutely trust in the multidimensional aspects of your life. In other words, the psychic part of yourself, the soul, the medium, the heart center, okay? Where I'm talking about the internal parts of yourself that are learning and yearning to evolve, to grow to be the better and best version of the Gregory Ross that you know right now. Because we're always, that's why we incarnate in these lifetimes anyway, is to evolve. We bring everything with us from before, and then we bring it into this life and we consolidate and manifest three-dimensionally here. We're born, we live, and then we die. And during that period, we have experience, for better or worse. But that always gets incorporated in part of our learning here, body, mind, heart, and soul. And so what I'm sensing is that we're talking a lot about the deep soul aspects of your life that are, for a lot of people, they are irrelevant, they are useless, they are ignored. It's like they don't even exist for a lot of people. But in this lifetime for you, it is a component of your life, whether you like it or know it or not. And it has to be honored, respected. You have to deal with it and move forward accordingly. And so with the Knight of Wands, my feeling is, you know what? I might as well just frickin' go for it. If people think I'm a whack job because I walk in someplace and I look at the person, I kind of go, hey, you know what? I just had this crazy feeling. I knew you in a past life. It happens. I'm telling you, Gregory, it happens because that's sort of my world anyway. And then who knows what kind of conversation could be sparked. And then you have to, again, lead and live by example. And if the depth of your soul and your true core nature and personality at the depth of your soul is this almost like larger than life being that has this magical, mystical component, which other people sense, which is what draws other people to you, because they want what you have. Okay, that's resonance. That's energy. And then you resonate accordingly, because then you have something that you offer to the world. And so things meet up in the middle. But you're at a chapter in life right now where you've got enough wisdom, knowledge, experience, capability to be able to handle these levels of the spiritual component of your world, to make it not something that you shove aside or that you want to ignore or wish you didn't have, but it becomes integrated as a vital component of your day-to-day life now going forward. Okay, so in other words, it's no longer something you have to dismiss, like, hey, I remember you. We were in the blah, blah, blah Battle of so-and-so in 1793. Remember that? And then they look at you, Gregory, you're out of your effing mind. And you kind of go, no. Let me tell you. And so on and so on. That's the only way I can express. That's what I'm sensing from the reading. It sounds like a very strange reading, but to me it's very clear. It's very vivid. I hope that makes sense, Gregory. All right, I've got to clear up. I've got to clear this deck here. Wait a minute, what's that? Tropical Tarot. Hello, Tropical Tarot. Is it possible to pay for a reading or question? Yes, I can handle one more. That's it. Okay. So let me give you the. Okay, dear Tropical Tarot, if you're still here, this is what you do. You go to TarotLumination.com. Let's say you have a gadget, a device, a tablet, another tab on your computer, your laptop, or wherever you're watching or something. Go to TarotLumination.com and you'll find the donate button. You don't have to have a PayPal account. It works through PayPal, but you can scroll down and just choose a debit or a credit card, and it's just online shopping. And you put a massive donation in there, and then you get your mini reading live right now. Very simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit of music and take a short bathroom break, and I'll be right back. So if I come back later and I see that you've booked a reading, then we'll go for it. All right, so how am I going to do this? I think I have to find, let me find another song for you. Oh. How did I get LINA? You know what? I'm going to play the other LINA song. It's the piano solo version of I Surrender. LINA, I Surrender. Let's see if this works. Okay, yeah, we got it. All right, I'm just double checking, okay? Now, what I'm going to do, while you're sorting yourself out there, dear Tropical Tarot, I'm going to play a little song. It's my song, but Lina from Argentina did a beautiful piano cover version. I can't do that, but she did it. Then I'm going to come back. I'm going to clear the decks here, and if you're still here, Tropical Tarot, you'll get your reading. If not, no worries. We'll just keep going. But for the time being, please enjoy the music. almost back, folks. Trying to deal with a bunch of technical things here. Oh, please bear with me. I'm trying to... Jeepers, man. Got caught off guard. Anyway, I had a successful pee break, and let's have a look. Let's go over here. Let's go back to the stage. All right, here we go. Thank you very much, Gregory. I do hope you got something out of that. I'm going to shuffle up the deck, and then I'll see if Tropical Tarot... Let's just hang out for a few minutes here while Tropical Tarot figures out if they want a reading or not. We'll see. It takes a little bit of time, you know. I gotta shuffle it up here. Oh man, I should prepare these shows better. If I'm gonna try and play all these other different bits of music, I have to kind of get them all lined up like a real, real television show, or a properly organized channel would actually do all that stuff in advance. But I struggle with all that stuff. I'm going to clear this over here. Hold on, give me a second. I need to shuffle, and find it best if I have a little bit of... This keeps me mellow. Tried to get a lot done during my little pee break there. Kind of tripped over myself. That's where the stress comes from. That's all. Don't worry, Gregory. Thanks for the concern, though. One of the things that I'm learning during this retrograde period is how your body changes over long periods of time. And there's a lot of things I can't really take anymore because my body won't allow it. One of them is dairy. Really pisses me off because I used to hardly ever eat meat. I just like the different cheeses with pastas and salads and sandwiches and grilled this or whatever. And then maybe a little bit of seafood and things. But turns out my body will not tolerate the whey, W-H-E-Y, and it won't tolerate the lactose anymore. And it becomes like a severe allergy. I can't breathe. It's horrible. And I started to learn that, wow, there's other things I can't touch, like certain types of cookies. Chocolate, I can hardly touch chocolate. I can't really touch it hardly at all. Certain combinations I can handle, but a bar of chocolate, I can't do that anymore. What's another example? There's certain cookies that I had no idea they would affect my my breathing, my brain, my sinuses, my lungs. And no, I don't think I have a gluten problem. I don't think so. I'll check up on that. I don't really know. I've heard about it. Gluten comes from wheat. I eat all sorts of bread, and I don't really seem to have too many problems with that. But it's certainly worth looking at. Never thought about it. Thank you. And it's just kind of frustrating where, like, you realize, oh, wow, I can't do that anymore. I can't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. Like I used to go to Starbucks when I lived in LA. I loved going to all my little coffee shops. And for a long time I would have, a medium coffee with a nice blob of cream and a couple of sugars. And after a while that didn't work because I would end up just choking. I couldn't and I didn't know it was because of the cream. So I can hardly touch Indian food anymore because it has so much cream in it. It's just awful. And so I've ended up in a situation where my diet has changed a lot because I had to. No, I don't have a bloated belly. No. If anything, I have the opposite. So it's just frustrating. And I used to love my alcohol. A lot of the times I used alcohol for self-medication, for pain and emotional issues and things, because I've had a lot of health issues. And I love my whiskey, my wine, and my beer. And I can't really take any of that anymore. And it's been about 4 years now without any of it. And so what's left? Oh, I have a little Coke in the evening or the day sometimes, maybe one Coke, or maybe a half. Sometimes I'll have a cup of coffee that's half caffeine, just a little bit, but that's pretty rare. I can't drink too many fruit juices anymore, hardly touch them because the sugar levels are way too high because of certain other health issues. I can't have all that sugar. And so I end up with water and decaf. That's about it. Things I still indulge in donuts. I like a donut now and again, and cakes and cinnamon rolls and things like that. I don't have too many problems there, but it's just very weird, the things that you learn over extended periods of time. Coca-Cola. Oh no, I'm not a cokehead. I hate cocaine. I can't stand it. How would I know that? No, I can't stand drugs. I've had terrible, terrible life experiences with drugs because I couldn't resist them for a while. But they nearly killed me multiple times over. But I'm still here to tell the tale. So it's very, very weird. So your whole psyche changes. Everything changes here. Like a lot of people are addicted to foods, and so it's all about, like in America, it's a very serious problem in America, food addiction. And I don't really have that problem, so I'm very, very lucky. I eat to live. I don't live to eat. I eat to live, and I feel like with my friend, I've crafted a very good, healthy diet and life, so that I don't suffer too much from those health issues to do with food and beverage. But then you walk through the grocery store and you think, I can't touch 99% of that. The things I can touch are the produce aisle, fruits and vegetables, uh, meats and seafood, beef, pork, chicken, turkey, seafood, and then breads, cakes. I like potato chips, plain potato chips, and that's about it. Dairy free. Oh, yeah, there are certain things that work. I've found, after a lot of homework and good luck, I found two very good quality cheeses over here in America that are lactose free. It's basically a very mature cheddar, and it's wonderful. I can eat that without too many problems. Also, have you ever had those little dessert cups? They're like little tiny cups, sort of like this, but smaller. And you peel the top, and it's like chocolate, like chocolate souffle, fluffy, creamy chocolate thing. I found one that is dairy free, and it's delicious. And so I treat myself now and again to one of those. If I had a real one, I would be choking and wouldn't be able to breathe or hear anything. Yeah, there is still hope. We learn our little tricks as we go. I had an uncle long ago on my father's side of the family. I have a lot of farming in my family from generations ago. German farming, French farming, here in Europe and in America. Here in America and from Europe. And one of my uncles was a wheat farmer, born and raised into farming, and did wheat farming. Big tractors all through Kansas, thousands of tons of wheat every year harvested, put them in the silos and sell them, repeat, repeat, repeat. And he died, I think, in his late 50s, early 60s or something like that. And nobody could understand why. And then apparently they found out that he had, I don't know how they found out, but he had a wheat gluten allergy, and it just destroyed his body. Mm-hmm. Very weird. He didn't even know it. Nobody even knew about things like wheat allergies or gluten back at those days. Crazy, crazy stuff. Okay, I got to do a couple checkup things here in the background. Where am I? Doopy-doo. Give me a second. I'm doing some housekeeping here. I saw a few things flicker. No, that's okay. That's working okay. Yeah. I have so many weird stories connected with drugs, it doesn't make any sense at all. In some ways, I shouldn't talk about them because they're very scary. But in some ways, I'm kind of proud of them. I don't know if anybody remembers, but on my old YouTube channel, there's a playlist. They have a playlist for like monthly videos, live streams, songs. That's where the LINA songs are. The LINA songs are on the YouTube channel for TarotLumination. She's got a whole bunch over there. And she helped me do a lot of transcriptions with the lyrics. But over there, how did I get onto that YouTube subject? What the hell was I doing? Coaching's better. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was talking about how we go through chapters in our lives that we don't talk about a lot when we get older. And so I've been having, with the retrograde, I've taken full advantage of the retrograde recently. So I've been speaking for a long time with an old friend in England, in London, and another old friend in England way up north by the lakes. And also with my sister over in the south of England. And when you do that, you tend to talk about things from the past that you shared together. And if I go way back, I was just thinking about, stories about, drugs, Neptune, Pisces, 12th house issues. I've had a lot of those challenges in my life. Very serious problems. And I think there's some stories that deserve to be told, and then I could load them up onto the TarotLumination YouTube stories playlist. There's a whole bunch of stories there, and they are not time sensitive. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be March or April or May or June to have a valid story. So maybe if I get some time, I'll put some of those stories over there for people who are interested. It's like the stories we used to talk about in the early days of TarotLumination, when we would all chat around the campfire about all our crazy things that we did, and coulda, woulda, shoulda, things like that. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up here. It's actually, according to the time change, it's now 9:30 p.m. here, which is way later than I normally do. I'm way out of whack with the time changes in America. So anyway, thanks for hanging out. Good night, everybody. It's been a pleasure. I'm glad you guys got something out of your readings. Look after yourselves. You know where to come. See you next